Y'all, this game is a lot of fun. This past weekend, Sega has decided to drop an open network test for Sonic Racing Crossworlds, so everybody can get their first hands-on experience with the game. This one was different from the one they released back in February, because that one was only exclusive to PlayStation 5. This time around, they released it on all major consoles. That includes PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and Steam. And I was fortunate enough to play it on my Xbox. So here's a quick little gameplay montage of my experience, and then I'll be back to give you guys my first initial thoughts. Okay, ooh! I don't know what place I got. I know it was like extremely close. Oh! And it was like the stage clear theme from Sonic Unleashed. Oh my gosh, and I got second. Oh, nice. Hold on now. Hold on. Yeah. No, dang it. Dang it. Alright, now since I've played the game, what do I think about it? Well, I'll refer to what I said at the very beginning of the video. It's so much fun. I would even go as far to say it's addicting. This is probably the most fun I had in a Sonic racing game in a while, if not ever. And this is probably the most competitive Sonic racing game that I've ever played as well. I won't get into too much details as I'm saving that for when the actual game comes out. So I'll tell you some things about what I liked and what I didn't like about the game. I'll start off with Grand Prix, as this is probably the most time that I spent during the network test. If you play any racing game, this is pretty much self-explanatory. You get to go on 4 tracks and try to come out on top every time. But what's interesting about Grand Prix in this game is that you're going up against a certain type of character called a rival. And I'm not gonna lie, this is probably my favorite feature in the game because there's specific dialogue between the character you choose and the rival. Like how in certain games like Injustice 2, there will be specific character dialogues before the start of the match. And those are details that I absolutely love. And some of these are just gold, like how a Storm mistakes Shadow for Sonic.
Alright, Sonic, I'm gonna beat you so bad you won't even know what happened.
You've got the wrong hedgehog. If you've mistaken me for Sonic, you're in for a rude awakening.
And man, the rivals are challenging, and that's a good thing, because it adds an extra layer to the races and makes them even more exciting. Sometimes you even get a choice between choosing a regular challenge rival or a rival that gives you an extra challenge. And I always go with the one that gives me an extra challenge if given the option. But a really nice touch to this is that at the end of every Grand Prix match, there's an award ceremony. And depending on the character you choose, you can hear their themes for their victory music. Like for Knuckles, it's Unknown from ME.
That's why I'm the best of them.
And with Jet, it's Catch Me If You Can.
That's why I'm the legendary Wind Rider.
And I'm not gonna lie, I squealed when I heard them for the first time. The gameplay is very balanced and smooth. As someone who didn't play the open network test the first time around, and this is my first exposure to the game, so I can't really compare what it was like before, but I can fairly say that the game does run at a very good pace. Even when the characters bounce into each other like when we see them do in the trailers. It did look like it was a little bit long, but when I played the game, it didn't feel that long at all. In fact, it was actually really smooth. I love how much customization we get this time around as well. And we can actually use our in-game currency to pick out which parts do we want to use for our vehicles. I'm making an emphasis on this because compared to the last game, which was Team Sonic Racing, it was like this gumball machine feature where we didn't really get the option to pick out which parts we want, and they were all randomized. I like that we have a lot of variety when it comes to the type of cars we want to race in, because each type of vehicle has a purpose when it comes to what kind of tracks you're about to race on. So it makes your choices crucial for the outcome of the race. You got the choice of either a standard car or extreme gear. 9 times out of 10, I went with the extreme gear, because this was the one piece of gameplay that I was worried about the most. From the looks of it from the gameplay trailers, it looked stiff, but in all reality, it was probably one of the smoothest times that I've ever had with extreme gear. it controls great, and the turns were buttery. It just felt right. That, and I just miss having it in a racing game. Online is chaotic, and I absolutely love it. I can't believe how much time I spent online and ended up being really fun and enjoyable, even though there are some things that I didn't particularly like. And online play was very smooth as well. And what I mean by that is that there was barely any lagging. There were barely any crashes when I played as well. Now, don't get me wrong, there was a few here and there, but majority of the time, everything was running exactly how it was supposed to. I guess I should probably mention that during online play, there was another mode that was open called Festival. Festival is pretty much where you're getting split into 3 groups of 4, and whichever team you're on is randomized. I ended up really liking this mode because it had Team Sonic Racing elements to it, and when you play online, there was this ranking system for where you start at E and work your way up to legend status. And I really like that because it makes you just want to keep playing online even more. I had an overall blast with online. And I will say this is probably the most fun I had online in probably any of these Sonic Racing games. Cause that ranking system, oh boy, I put some hours into that. However, even though I really like this game, it does come with its flaws. First thing I think that needs a little bit of tweaking is the trick system. This is another aspect that I kind of like about the game, but at the same time, it's a little bit too easy. Compared to Team Sonic Racing, every time when you do a trick, it has to be timed exactly right. And if you don't finish the trick in time, you get punished for it. In this game, you don't exactly get punished. If anything, you kind of get rewarded for not finishing a trick on time. I hope they fix it because it gives a sense of urgency to where it has consequences for where you don't make a landing after your tricks, and have to time and pace yourself. And I know this was only a beta, but I hope that there's an option where we can turn off items and gear systems, especially if someone gets one of these 2 items. Oh my gosh, if you get hit with one of these items, your ass is grass. Think you secure your place in first place? Gone. Alright, that's cool. You secure your place in the top 3, right? Psych! It was so annoying to get hit with one of these items. And I kind of wanted to have a race where it was nothing but skill. Because if there's a way to turn these off, I want this to be on some Final Destination, no items, box only type ish. And I think the last thing I didn't like about the game is pretty much the same problem that I have with every racing game. It's luck over skill. What I mean by that is pretty much when at the skin of your teeth, there's a last ditch effort that always happens and it plays in somebody else's favor. This is kind of the reason why I want there to be options for items to be turned off. Because if the luck to skill ratio is unbalanced, then the game is probably not going to be enjoyable for anybody. But other than those little nitpicks, this is still an enjoyable game overall. I was sad when it came to the last day because it will be another 3 to 4 weeks till this game is fully released, and all I wanted to do was just keep playing it. But during the time that I had with it, I had a lot of fun. This game ended up surprising me because I thought this was just going to be another generic Sonic Racing game. But this one is special. With the groundwork of a Sonic Racing game, with transforming mechanics, with the inclusion of extreme gear, this seems like this is the perfect blend of all the things everyone liked about the previous game and just made a great experience for this one. I mean, everybody was playing this game, Sonic fans and non-Sonic fans alike, and I was so happy to see the site because this is legitimately a very good game, and I feel like we're living in a good time right now because everybody is excited about a Sonic Racing game, which nowadays is very rare. And I think this is probably the most hyped up Sonic Racing game in a while. And when the day comes, when the game comes out, I can't wait to see everybody on the track.
Ultimate victory.
But those are just my thoughts about the game. Let me know in the comments. Did you play the open beta test? How did you feel about it? And are you planning on getting Sonic Racing Crossworlds? And with all that said and done, have a good rest of your day.